And now you've got yourself something funky.
It's even funkier now with just two.
Yes. Yeah.
We're going to have a special guest joining us, but for right now, it's just Chris and Katia. Mike couldn't make it to the show, but well, he might pop on. We don't know. He's going to try, but we'll see. So hi everyone. This is Full 42. Where you talk about board games and stupid geeky stuff and whatever pops into our heads. And Grogu sitting over there, right there, right there. He's everywhere.
Up there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yep, there he is. Oh, and we have a special guest with us right now who I'll be bringing on. It's Andrew Wolf.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
How's it going? It looks very dark over there. I don't think it's dark over here yet.
What? Where are you?
Is it not yet? Oh, let me see. Oh,
Are
yeah,
you
I
on
guess
the
it is
West
dark.
Coast? I'm like,
I'm on
it's dark.
the
So,
eastern area,
ahead.
but he's Texas. So it's actually, if it's dark for you, it's definitely dark for him.
Yeah, it's got to be
Yeah,
dark.
yeah.
Mark.
I
So,
just haven't paid attention.
Yeah. Full disclosure, so I moved into a new place recently, and the bedrooms, where one of which is my office setup, don't have overhead lights.
Oh.
And I don't have like floor lamps and stuff. So you're like, it's dark. It's like, yeah, it's because I don't have good lighting in here yet. Like I can work during the day. There's a window right there, so I get good daylight, but it gets dark, now. And so I've got a little desk lamp that'll light me. So
Perfect. It's okay
Excellent.
because we just passed Halloween, so you have it like a spooky mood.
It's true. I need like the flashlight, the underlighting.
And it kind of looks like we should see the reflection of a ghost behind you kind of move.
Ooh.
Yeah. If
Oh,
that
we should have said
happens,
that.
I'm disconnecting.
Nope, then it's too late
Fair.
by then. By then, now you're haunted as well. That's how it works. So Andrew, why don't you tell everybody about yourself a little bit?
Let's see. Where should I start? Where should I start?
What do you do in the board gaming industry? Who you work for, and then
Okay.
tell us about the games you've designed.
Okay, I can start and go backwards, I suppose. So currently, I work for Pokemon. Technically, we are the Pokemon Company International (TPCI), and we handle all of the Pokemon business basically outside of Asia, outside of like Japan and their markets. I am a game designer and I work on the trading card game. So I work on the Pokemon TCG right now, and I've been doing that for a little more than a year. I started in June of last year. Prior to that, most of my time working in the board game industry was spent more on board games. So I guess going backwards, I worked at Funko Games for like 9 months. Prior to that, I worked at Mondo on their new games initiative for about a year. Before that, I worked at USAopoly for almost 7 years. That's where I guess I spent the bulk of my time working in the game industry. And I think that's where people probably know me for games that I designed or co-designed, like Harry Potter, Hogwarts Battle, the Rising line of games. Starting with Thanos Rising and Darkseid Rising and Death Eaters Rising are all the ones that I designed. And then after I left USAopoly, they continued to put out more games in the series with a SpongeBob version and a Batman Metal Joker Who Laughs, Batman Who Laughs version, all using the same engine I designed. Then I worked on a ton of other stuff while I was there. I mean, everything from the Monopolies and Clues and Yahtzees and Scrabbles and Trivial Pursuits and all that stuff to some of the other license and co-branded partnerships like the Codenames games, Disney and Marvel and Harry Potter Codenames. The Munchkin line, I designed all the Marvel Munchkin, Adventure Time Munchkin, and some of the other Munchkin games that were put out. I designed a Samurai Jack game. I often forget, but because we're talking about cooperative games, and I guess I'll give you a sneak peek of one of the games that's going to be on my list. I worked on the Star Trek Panic game. So I mean, I guess I could keep going on and on and on and stuff there. I was there a long time. I did a lot of stuff there. And then before that, I worked at Cryptozoic and Upper Deck, mostly on the World of Warcraft trading card game. So I've kind of gone full circle. I started working on TCGs and then moved over into like board and card game space. And now I'm back working on a TCG again.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Couple questions that just pop in. This isn't really like an interview format or anything. We just kind of sit around and talk. But as you were describing stuff, some questions did pop into my head. So, like, first of all, Thanos Rising. I remember that came out like the month of or month after the movie or something like it was real close, right?
It came out pretty close after Infinity War came out because the game was only based on the first movie.
Does that mean you had advanced knowledge of anything happening, or?
Yes, it did.
Oh. So, had you seen it, or were you just told?
I was just told. Often, what will happen when a publisher develops a game based off of an upcoming like theatrical or TV IP is they'll either like get a script read, which is pretty common. Or in lieu of that, they'll just have an opportunity to sit down with the licensor and get like a plot synopsis, story overview. They usually have like these presentation decks with like concept art or story beats or characters, stuff like that. So like I remember we got a run through for the second Fantastic Beasts movie, like a year before it came out, and it had like concept art and production designs and stuff like that. And they would kind of walk you through the story. It's like, all right, this is like the first act is going to be this, and these are the characters, and this is going to be the conflict, and the second act is going to be this, and this character to show up, and here it's going to lead into this. So we would know story beats and stuff like that throughout. Occasionally, we would also get to see super early draft screenings of stuff. This mostly happened for animated things. So, like, I got to see Inside Out, Pixar Inside Out, and Coco like more than a year before the movie came out, where it was mostly just like black and white storyboards, like flip art stuff. You know, it's like very, very super rough storyboard animation. A lot of the dialogue had been recorded, or like a version of it. Some of it was like the actual dialogue with the voice actors, and some of it was just stand-in dialogue. And like they would tell you who had been cast for the voice talent, and you could hear the dialogue. And you're like, that's not that person. Like they haven't recorded their dialogue yet. But some of it was with the actual voice talent. So yeah, it's a variety of things. Sometimes you get script reads, sometimes you get big presentations, and sometimes you actually get to see very rough, early cuts of movies when you're working on this kind of stuff.
Do they for a game like that where you get to see stuff ahead of time and you're working on the design portion of it? So do they wait until the movie comes out to do the art so that it matches, or do they have the same artists work on it? Like, how does that work?
It also depends. I think like a lot of it depends on when you want the product to release. So how early they can release assets, because a lot of times for these movies there'll be enough like promotional material that if you're clever or creative, you can cobble stuff together to make a game and and have some visuals. Like I remember we at US Happily made a Monopoly game for the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie,
Okay.
and like based off of a script read and some style guide art, really, and a little bit of digging. Now, Monopoly game's a little different because it's produced domestically and like you could turn around a lot faster, so it was much closer to release date. But I remember like digging on the internet for any kind of spoiler information that was available through trailers or other early product releases, like Lego sets and stuff will sometimes like have spoilery stuff in their product that they don't really describe, but if you look at it, you're like, what's this thing on this Lego set? And you could infer between some script information and some visuals, like, oh, that's this, to like cobble enough stuff together. Like your detective sleuthing skills sometimes can be a really powerful asset when trying to kind of predict. Or sometimes you see something and then you can go back to the license and you're like, hey, what's this thing? And you're like, oh, that's this. I didn't tell you. I didn't think it was important. And you're like, oh, we could use it for this thing. Like, oh, okay. We'll find a way to provide something or fold it in. I think with Thanos Rising in particular, there's often a lot of style guide art that's produced well in advance of the movie that like uses character likeness, but is like all artist depicted. And those assets are made available pretty early enough on. So I think like all the character art in Thanos Rising was all from a style guide. They were like, because they all sort of have a similar visual look and feel. And we had access to that early enough on that we could do the art development, do the design to get it to a manufacturing state in time to get it on shelf, pretty close to the movie release. So a lot of it just depends on the assets that are available. And like the bigger a franchise, the bigger a studio, the more assets they tend to have early, because they know that licensees want access to stuff to develop product, to develop packaging, right, to do stuff like that. So the opportunities often kind of are dependent on what the licensor has developed. But for bigger stuff, there tends to be a pretty decent supply of things to work with.
Do you ever feel
yeah, that's Michael.
There's Michael. Yep.
Where is he?
He couldn't make it tonight, but he said he might be able to pop in the comments, here and there. So
getting ready for QsCon.
Yes,
I'm sure that's part of it.
Yeah. Sure. I understand he just didn't want to talk to me. That's fine.
I highly doubt that.
We didn't think you wanted to talk to him. Is really what it was.
Oh no, never, Michael, never. I'm sorry. You were going to ask a question.
Yeah. Well, I'm just a little bit more into that, which is, do you ever feel like the spoilers, basically, like you didn't get to watch Infinity War like the rest of us, like you kind of knew what was going to happen or something, or any of the other movies or shows, like you said, Guardians, you got a script. Do you ever kind of go, I wish that wasn't spoiled for me, or is it more interesting to get that stuff?
It's definitely a double-edged sword. I don't really mind it. Because usually like a script isn't really going to convey the true essence of a movie, like seeing it on screen and seeing with the music and the visuals and stuff like that. Like you might get some of the jokes, or you'll know the story beats, but I don't actually mind knowing where a story is going to enjoy it. And I remember there was a very heated conversation one day at Mondo where we were talking about like the pros and cons of like spoilers or knowing like story beats for something, because some people were like, I don't want to know anything. I want to like experience it fully fresh the first time. And other people were like, no, I actually feel like I can appreciate it more if I have a general sense of where things are going, because then I'm like a certain part of my brain can turn off where you're not like thinking about like if you don't have to spend some brain space thinking about where things might go, you can kind of just relax a little bit and then enjoy the journey more. And I think I kind of fall more into that side of things, where it's like, oh, I can enjoy the visuals more, like find some of the nuance, because I'm not paying so much attention to like every plot point and thinking about like, ooh, what's going to happen next? And I'm like, oh, I know that like they're going to go to this planet next, or like this fight's going to happen next, or like these characters are going to have an interchange next, and then you can kind of just enjoy it more. So I think generally I kind of fall more on that side of things, where like, I don't mind things being spoiled, and I still feel like I appreciate the heck out of it. As a quick aside, I will say that like I remember when I first went to see Infinity War with my ex, and like I knew what was going to happen. I knew that there was going to be a snap, and people were going to get dusted, and I think I pretty much knew who was and was not going to survive. And I still found it like super impactful, again, because like you just watch it play out, and I don't know how maybe some people were like, oh yeah, I knew that person was and that person was, and like so it didn't surprise me. It was like, I don't know, maybe for me I still just super invested in it, so it was fine. But
I can see that. I watched it many times, and I'm invested every time I watch it. So, yeah.
I mean, I think that's just a tribute to how good of a movie and a series, and how good the filmmaking and storytelling is. But I remember, like, a lot of people in the theater had no idea, and if you ever watched like the reaction videos, or if you saw it on opening night, and people were just like freaking out and like shouting and crying and stuff like that. I think that's some of what feeds the reaction. It's like, even if you know what's happening, like other people's reaction will fuel your reaction. But I remember my ex afterwards, like she found it like very upsetting. Like a lot of people did, and like to the point at which she was kind of mad at me because I did know and I didn't tell her. I didn't like emotionally prepare her for it, So he's like, I can't believe you didn't tell me that this was going to happen, and like I'm really upset and I'm mad at you, and like there were other things going on, that kind of attributed to it. But like I was like, oh, well, I didn't think you would want me to spoil it. I'm like, no, I wish you had, or I wish it was interesting for someone to say, like, I wish you had spoiled it for me, because I was not prepared for that, and I wanted to be prepared for it.
And then, and I don't mean if Katia, you have any other questions, but
I do.
Oh, okay. I kind of want to ask you a Pokemon question, and I don't know if you're allowed to answer.
I probably won't be able to, but you can ask.
Okay. Well, it's not actually about the cards. It's just, so there was this game when I was, I don't know, maybe it was about 10, 12 years ago, called Pokemon Master Trainer. Do you know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
The board game. Okay. I'm just curious, are they ever going to make that again? And are you able to? I think that was a Milton Bradley game. Right. Yeah. I didn't think you could.
Okay, so then I'll ask something.
But I want it. That's what I would.
So earlier you were talking about how you used to work on like Clue and Monopoly and Scrabble games. Like, what is it that, I mean, you've explained a little bit of what you did with the Monopoly one, where it's like you take an IP and basically retheme a Monopoly game and apply it to that. But like what did you do with the Scrabble games? Or like Scrabble games?
Yeah,
what was there to do?
Yeah, it's a fair question. Like, I'll take a step back. Monopoly is kind of easy because there's like identifiable things on the game board, properties and transportations. And Clue and community chest that you can all kind of infuse whatever the IP is into. Clue is the same way. Like there's a mystery, so you can tell a story with that. Like the game of life, like you're going along and you're having this experience that can map onto some other story. There is some narrative to it, right? There's no story to Scrabble. What story are you telling by spelling words on a board? So those were mostly themed largely by visuals, like just making the choice of font for the letters and the packaging and stuff like that, and then some like bonus rules that would allow you to use like in-world words that wouldn't normally be Scrabble words, illegal. And then there were like bonus action cards that you would get, and if you could achieve a particular thing that was in theme with a license, you would get bonus points that way. So it layered things in. It's like you could infuse something from like, oh, if I'm playing Harry Potter Scrabble, I can spell stupefy, or and I can do this thing, or
Hogwarts, or
stuff like that, or like give you powers where like you can and like theme the powers is like you can expecto patronum something and block somebody from doing something, or protect yourself, open up a space or something like that. So it was very loosely themed, but you tried to infuse some kind of like special powers and bonus points that made sense for the license. And then it was all very visual driven too.
But that's helpful because like I grew up playing Scrabble, so I still play it to this day. So I was wondering like, how do you what do you do with it when you're trying to make a new version of it? But that makes sense.
It's a loose one. Jenga's also a little bit tough. Like, what are you doing when you're pulling out a block and stacking it? Jenga's a harder one to apply licenses to because a lot of them just like don't make sense. Right. But trying to think of one I worked on. You can put directives on the blocks themselves,
right?
That will give you specific goals or bonus points, or make somebody do something else and just theme it. It's like, you did this thing. Remember this thing from the movie? Now it's on a Jenga block. Apply it here. And then again, the colors, the visuals, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but even with those kinds of games, you'll find that if someone's a fan of something, they're much more likely to buy something they're a fan of than a generic version, even if it's more of just a visual application of the thing they like through colors or art or graphical treatments and stuff like that. Because they still just get reminded of it and it feels more fun.
Oh yeah, if I'm going to play Monopoly, I'm going to play my Star Wars Monopoly.
Right.
That the little R2D2. Yeah.
Aw, for real?
Yeah.
I want to see that. And of all of your game designs that you've done so far, so which one are you most proud of? Like, which game are you do you feel like you invested most in, or which one is your baby?
That's a hard question. I feel like most people would expect me to say oh, Thanos Rising, that was the first of that line and I invested a lot of time in it and it was, designed from scratch. And that's definitely very, very high on the list. And I like all the Rising games a lot. But I also think, so those are at the top of the list. And I don't know if I really kind of pick a favorite because I invested a lot into all of them. But before that, the first licensed Munchkin game that I designed was Adventure Time Munchkin. And at the time and I still am a huge Adventure Time fan. And that was I think it came out right in the height of the show, season 3 or season 4. And I watched every episode and found every tiny little nuance that made sense for a Munchkin card. And Munchkin has a fair amount of content. A box has 150 or 60 cards and they're all unique. Yep. So that's a lot of content to have to develop around an IP. You have to dig pretty deep. And I really, really invested a lot into that. And I remember people played it and they're like, like Adventure Time fans were like, I've never played Munchkin. This game is awesome. And it's like, it's got all the stuff that I would want. Every reference to every random episode. Like, oh, this guy showed up for 5 seconds in one episode, but he does this thing because that's what the character does in the show. And it's awesome. And like seeing people experience it, play the game, and just like get really excited because they know what you invested in it, and they appreciate that, is pretty awesome. So I'm really proud of that game in particular as well. And I think it did a lot for Munchkin as a game and showing how IP could be applied to it. But there have been lots and lots of versions of Munchkin. You know, they've got like zombie versions and apocalypse versions and pirate versions and space versions and spy versions, like lots of themes, but no licenses. Mm-hmm. This was really the first time a license had been applied in earnest. And I think and since then, a lot more versions have come out. So I really am proud of, I think, what that did to set the stage for what Munchkin could do. And I know a lot of people, you know, like it's another game that people kind of like to hate on. It's like, oh, it's really just random and the end game isn't great and stuff. But I was like, you know, there's a ton of fans out there for it. And if you know what you're getting into going in and know that, like, don't take it too seriously.
Exactly.
It can be super fun.
Yeah.
So I guess that's my very long-winded way of saying I'm really proud of the Munchkin Adventure Time game that I designed.
Very cool.
Great.
I feel like I could do an IP with friends, and I would probably feel that way. Where it's like I know the show inside out, and I could find some obscure stuff, so I could see how that would be. That would be really fun. Yeah.
That would actually be. You should pitch that. That's really. No, I'm serious. It maps perfectly because Munchkin plays up to 6 players, and you've got 6 friends, and so each of the 6 characters could be one of, like, everyone could play one of those 6 roles. You're like, I'm going to play Phoebe, or I'm going to play Chandler, or I'm going to play Monica in the game. And like, they would all have slightly different powers based on their characters. There's enough, like, there's 10, 11, 12 seasons of content, tons of characters, tons of stories. Like, Friends Munchkin would actually be super fun.
That's true.
Well, maybe I'll.
If anybody from Turning Us Happily is watching, there's your free idea.
We just finished rewatching it, so yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Corey says he might have a Friends Monopoly.
Yeah, that is.
Oh, I would totally. Yeah, anything Friends, I would play. It doesn't even matter what the game would be. Like,
nobody would want to play Ross though.
He's like I like him.
Ross is the least liked friend, isn't he?
I disagree.
I mean, I'm sure. We want to pick our least liked friend. I mean, are you picking Ross? Because I wouldn't pick Ross.
For me, I
like Ross, Phoebe. But he is.
I would pick Monica. See, we all have different least favorites.
You'd pick Monica. Who did you pick, Katia?
I would pick Phoebe. As my
what? She's the best.
No, Joey's the best.
Joey's very closely the second best. It's funny the different opinions.
Yeah. See, we all have different favorites and least favorites. But that's great, and that's why, like, you would come to the table, and everyone would bring their own personal preferences and experiences, and like this is why I think we all love games based off of IPs, because it gives us a chance to live in that world, but have some agency in it and celebrate it, and then argue. Like, sometimes I think the experience doesn't really matter. It's just then you get to, like, you know, talk about the thing and celebrate the thing with the context of some kind of experience that we're all sharing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we were going to be talking about our top 5 competitive games.
No, cooperative.
Cooperative.
I'm like, I didn't prepare the right list.
We all agree it's cooperative. Yeah. Cooperative games. So normally what we do, I'm just going to share my screen here, and I'll bring them up on BGG, unless you want to, like, if you have them with you and you want to show them, but I can bring them up on BGG to show people what we're talking about.
So I kind of came up with a mental list. I didn't really rank it 5 to 1.
That's okay.
I ranked mine by most colorful box cover. So you don't have to rank it in any way, shape, or form. Our rankings are usually weird and, just whatever we feel like doing. So is this the screen? Yeah, that's the screen. Okay, so Katia, do you want to begin?
Yes, let me just pull up my list here. I will start with my lowest one of the 5.
Rated by...
Well, like I go like...
So
I'll keep
you hate
my
this one.
favorite one for last.
So you
I'm
hate
going
this one.
from the
Okay.
5th. Yeah. So my number 5 would be, and I talked about it quickly, I think last time, because we were talking about small box games, the Grizzled. So I will show it here.
Okay.
That's a big box version of it.
I have, because
wow.
it comes with the minis.
Let me pull you up here. Show it.
Yeah, so it's a game where you're you don't have to put me in big there.
Well, I thought you were showing it.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Yeah, that has the minis. Yeah.
But yes,
I mean, it's a CMON game, so I got to find a way to put minis in it.
Yeah.
But they're so cute, and so the game is basically you're in the war, I believe, World War II, if I'm not mistaken.
World War I.
And you're in the trenches, and you have cards, like weather cards, that you're playing alternatively, and you can't have more than 2 of the same weather that shows up, or like you lose the round, something like that. And so basically you're not allowed to say what's in your hand, but everybody's got a hand of different weather, and then you're like placing it down, and you're trying to figure out what will, not make your team lose. And there's abilities and stuff like that you can play as well. It's just really unique in the sense that, yeah, you're like playing cards, and you're not allowed to say what's in your hand. And yeah, I don't know, you're just trying to, like, it feels like you're really trying to just make it through. And so it has that feeling of you're in the war. Like, I don't know, it's yeah, it's hard to describe, but it's a really cool game. And a friend of ours introduced us to the game. It was, I think, a couple of years ago now. And yeah, I just thought it was the coolest thing. Like, we lost the first game, and as soon as we lost, I was like, we need to play it again. Like, I want to play this again, like, right away. And so we played another game, and I rarely feel that way with games where it's like I finish and then I feel like I want to play it right now again. So that's a good thing.
Great. I think Mike wants to put his up. I think we could have guessed that one. I haven't played it yet, so I can't have that in my list.
It's quite good.
We played it at the gathering.
Yes, we did.
And we won.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
We can't say the same of your game, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
So does that mean that I designed a better co-op game because players lost? I don't
know.
More challenging.
It was hard. It was definitely hard. Yeah.
But
there's that sweet spot, right? What was that?
Did you want to play it again?
I mean, both of them I would have played again. Yours and his. Like, I felt like they were both of them had enough meaningful decisions, and you didn't feel like there was that alpha player that tells you what to do, which is the main thing. So.
That is a good question. Like, when you play a cooperative game for the first time, and then you win or you lose, which one makes you want to play again right away?
I think it depends on how it happened. If you lose so bad that you feel like you never even had a chance, I'm not in a hurry to play it again.
I could see that.
That happened to us with Too Many Bones not even Undertow. It was Too Many Bones, the base game, but we were playing the scenario where you acquire, or like where like your boss is a character from Undertow. So I wanted to play that scenario before we started playing Undertow, because thematically I was like, well, we haven't encountered that person yet, so let's play that scenario. We lost so badly that I was like, I'm not gonna touch this game for a little while. It was just, yeah, the whole time I felt like we didn't stand a chance. So and then if you win too easy, then I think you're left with the same feeling. It's like, oh, this was not really challenging. So that it's really like a matter of balance, whether you win or lose. It has to be somewhat close. Like I remember, like when we played the Batman game, like the one that Michael designed, there was one turn that they could have all went to hell, and we and it was basically that last turn that like we were able to do a couple things that made it possible for us to win. So that felt okay, even though we won, like it was tight. So yeah, like stuff like that I think is where it matters, is the tension. Yeah.
Very cool. Andrew?
I will start, and this is in no particular order, because I kind of teed it up earlier with Castle Panic, which I think is a really great cooperative game put out by Fireside, and there are a ton of expansions to it. And I know that they have a new deluxe Kickstarter version from earlier this year that I guess probably will be coming out next year. And I got to work with Justin DeWitt from Fireside on a Star Trek version, Star Trek Panic, which I think is also really fun. But like the Panic line of games, there's a Dead Panic zombie version as well, but Castle Panic is the main one, and they've really built out that line. They even have a Castle Panic, I don't remember, Junior for kids, a kids version of it. But it's a super fun, simple, but really challenging, but also really approachable tower defense style game. That I think is really great, and I can highly recommend.
I've never played it, but it looks fun.
It's funny.
Yeah, the concept for it's really simple. Like everybody has a hand of cards, and the cards will specify some section of the board. Like you see that's like knight, sword, and stuff like that, and often with a color. So if you have a card that says like blue knight on it, you can play it, and then you can do damage to the monsters that are trying to destroy the castle. So they, tower defense style, like they start on the outside and they slowly make their way in. Have you ever played like Plants vs. Zombies?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to think of any other tower defense style games, but you understand the concept of like stuff starts away and gets closer, and you have to do things to stop them from getting inside. So the cards allow you to attack and defeat the monsters as they get closer, but and every turn they move closer until they break through. So you have to like manage your hand of cards, and you have to communicate with your teammates. It's like, all right, I'm gonna play this here, and then people are like, okay, I can do this here. When it comes up, it moves. There's enough variance to the game that it mixes things up, so you can't always predict what's going to happen. But it really requires a lot of cooperative efforts and coordination between the players. But the nature of it's pretty simple. Play some cards, attack the monsters, prevent them from busting down your castle walls.
Hi, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
The Star Trek version of it was really fun because it was from the original series, and we were able to infuse a bunch of narrative in missions. So it required you to complete 5 missions, and all the missions had particular objectives that you had to accomplish, like defeat X number of Klingons, or do this thing, or maneuver the ship in this way so that you do X, Y, or Z, rescue this thing, stuff like that. And it was really fun to develop all the missions, and it was a really, really hard game, but it was a lot of fun to develop. And I love telling the story of like when we took it to the CBS licensor and played the nearly final version with them. After playing, one of the key approvers who manages the Star Trek brand said, like, this is the most Star Trek game I've ever played. Like, that's how much he felt like we captured the essence of Star Trek the series in a tabletop experience. He's like, this is the best like tabletop Star Trek game I've ever played. And there are a lot of Star Trek games out there. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
This is the version I'd want to play. I'm a huge Trekkie.
Yeah, and you got that 3D Enterprise. You get to put damage on it, and you've got these shields, and yeah, it's like it's got a great table presence, which like all the Panic games do, I think, because they've got these 3D components to it as well. So yeah, this is a really, really fun version, and I think it's kind of hard to find now. It's out of print, so if you have a copy, consider yourself lucky.
Oh no.
A little bit of panic in Chris.
Yeah, now I get the panic. Okay, so my number 5, as I said, I'm doing them from least colorful to most colorful, I think I said. So my first one is Time Stories. The box is obviously least colorful, but the game itself it's got a lot of color and stuff to it, depending on
Whoa, creepy.
Yeah, this is the first mission. There's a lot of, basically every time you play, it's a different mission. You buy new missions to go on it and stuff like that. But it kind of feels like a role-playing game that you're on, that the game's GMing, right? So, and every time you play, it's a different theme, because you're coming from the future or into another world. And like the first one you saw was like an insane asylum, I think in the maybe 60s or something. But another time you jump in there and you're like in a magic world with dragons. And then talk about table presence. This looks so boring by itself, but it's because they haven't put the cards on. Once you start putting the cards on, well, that's some awesome artwork. But yeah, once you start putting the cards on, that's whenever it starts looking really cool, right? And it's like pentagram stuff. So like on this card here, you can you can say, I'm going to this card and talk to this woman, or you could go to this card, talk to look at this over here. So I really enjoyed it because I started playing it at a time where I didn't have role-playing games going on every week with my groups and stuff. So it fills that void for me,
It almost, when you say like you go up to characters and you're like, I'm going to go and talk to this one, it almost feels like video games where it's like you're exploring or you're on a mission or whatever, and you go to the NPC characters.
Yeah, kind of like did you ever play Myst, any of those Myst games?
Oh my gosh, yeah,
it kind of feels like that, because you're looking at the screen basically and choosing what to click on.
What to click. I'm gonna go inspect that drawer, or
everything you do costs time, so you might not have enough time to do everything in this room, so you have to kind of choose, and you do it as a team. Like I can talk to her while you talk to him. And I look at the back of the card and I don't get to read what it is, but I put the card back and then we can come together and be like, yeah, she kind of said this and this. So if I miss something totally and don't describe it back to you right, and sometimes that kind of happens, which I like.
That sounds cool though.
Yeah. I like that they blurred out the text here, because that is a good thing to do, because you don't want to do spoilers in these images. So that's nice. But yeah, it's a great game. They're not making new ones for this. I think they started a new version of it and I haven't tried that yet. Yep, that's my first one.
Are we back to me already? We're
back to you.
All right.
Number 4.
My number 4 is Spirit Island. We talked about it a little bit last, or like a few episodes ago. I find, first of all, the theme for me is, I really enjoy that type of theme where it's like the island spirits are the one, like, trying to push away the people coming to colonize the island. So I thought that was a really cool theme, and the decision making in how you like what you boost in your own board of your own character that you're playing, or your own spirit that you're playing. That was pretty neat. I also love the little components that come with it, like the little guys. And I thought it was, the first time we played it, it was overwhelming, and partly because the rule book's not very well written. So there was a lot of like checking back to the rule book. It's like, was it this or is it that? Or, but I like how the map can also change. Yeah, it was just, it felt very different than your typical co-op of like even Pandemic or the Forbidden series. Like this one felt really different. It seemed like you had more choices, and yeah, it's one that I really like. It's just every time that we play, I feel like we have to go back to the rules a little bit, because it's easy to forget stuff, because it's a little bit chunkier, like a little bit heavier than the other one. So, but it's good.
I agree with that. Yep.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Andrew, number 4.
Again, in no particular order, I'm going to say the game.
Oh, I have it in there.
Oh,
it's okay. It's my number 3.
I did the game of life. Oops.
I think it's the most difficult game to find in any kind of FBO.
I know, when you said it, I panicked. I was like, oh no, it's not going to come up.
Can you look
not that one.
I don't remember they have some other.
Yeah, they do have another kind of subtitle or something now, right? Because of the issue.
Look, if you look by publisher, like look for Pandasaurus.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, and look, it's for sale.
Oh, right there it is. Right there.
Well, that's on Amazon Prime if I click that.
Okay, but that's okay.
Anyway, I think the game is phenomenal for not just for a co-op, but just for a game in general. Like, it's so simple and elegant and hard, but fun. It's one of my like go-to games that because it's a little small box thing. I always have it with me. It travels well. It's so easy to teach, and it engages people so quickly that I've taken it to bars and over to friends and gatherings and stuff like that. And like, hey, we play a game. Let's play this game. Like, this is just like, it's just some cards, and you have to play them in ascending and descending order. And people are like, oh, I get this. Isn't that hard? And then like they get into it, and it's challenging. I don't know how many times I've won. Probably only a handful.
Yeah, I think I've only won it once. But it's one of those, like I said, that one is so addictive. Like, you can finish a game and right away you're like, nah, I'm going to try it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I've never played the game, but I've played the Mind, and I've heard they're kind of similar.
Kind of. The Mind is almost on my list. The Mind, I think, is much more polarizing. It's worth talking about too, because I do kind of group them together. Like, it's the same designer. Pandasaurus, brought them both. I think it's the same Dutch publisher originally, and Pandasaurus publishes them both in other markets. I enjoy the Mind, but I know a lot of people don't like it as much because they feel like it's either like more solvable. And enough people say like, it's an activity, it's not a game, and this. But like the game, I think is definitely a game. Very much so, and the limited. I think what makes it work particularly well is the limited communication aspect of it, and then those moments when your communication isn't quite right, and you're like, don't play on this stack. It's like, all right, well, I play on this stack. It's like, okay, but play if you was close, but not too close. And then they play it as like one, higher than yours. You're like, no. And then you have to like scramble to solve the problem. Like, all right, great. You played, we're going up and you played the 82 and I had the 81. Now what do I do with this? And sometimes you're like, oh, screwed. But then you get those moments where you get to knock the stack back down by 10. And, it's so simple and elegant. And I think there's just so much. It's so engaging and fun. I wish I was playing it right now.
Yeah, the bringing back the pile down tens, like that's so satisfying when sometimes you'll say to somebody, okay, like don't touch that pile, I got this, and then you're like boom, but it like goes down with 10, another one, and and then you're like all of a sudden it's like whew, damage control, but yeah, like you were saying, sometimes when you like your communication, you think in your head, okay, I'm gonna try and explain that it's like they can play a little bit on this pile, but not to go too far with it. And then they'll go just that one extra number too high. You're like, no. But yeah, the other thing too is sometimes you'll say like, okay, I'm at the point that like I have to ruin a pile. It's like there's nothing good I can do, and I will ruin a pile. And then like you destroy one of them by like 20 or 30 point jump, and it's so like, oh, it's so heartbreaking, but it's what makes you want to like try it again right after. Like if you lose the game, you just want to play it again.
Yeah. And it's so interesting to hear you talk about it because we've never played the game together before.
Nope.
At least I don't think so. But somehow there's this shared dialogue about the game because everything that you're describing, I've said and I've heard other people I play with say every time. It's like, I'm gonna have to ruin this pile. I'm gonna have to destroy this pile. Like there's this shared dialogue around this game that seems to happen universally. That I think like it's kind of like unique and special that even independent people who have never played this game together have the same language around it. Which like it's a weird kind of little subtle thing, but I think it's pretty fun. And when that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah, and I've played it like the game can be played even solo. Like I've played it by myself before. I think it just gives you a little bit less cards, and like the goal is the same. So it like I don't know. I love that game. Like you said, it's simple, it's elegant, and yeah, it's a definitely top 5.
I'm gonna have to get it now. I've been avoiding it because I thought it was going to be too much like the Mind, but after hearing what you're talking about,
yeah, no,
great,
it's really
good pick. Is that to me?
Yeah.
All right. So my number 4, going a little bit more colorful, is Dead of Winter, which is a semi-co-op. It's cooperative, but has a trader sometimes. That's one of the things I like about it is that you never quite know if there's a trader or not, right? I don't know how much I have to describe Dead of Winter. It's one of the most well-known ones, but you basically zombie apocalypse, and you're all trying to survive. Someone might be a traitor. Best part of it for me is that everybody has their own little secret objectives, and so I might be hoarding all the medicine just because that's my secret objective, but it makes me look like the traitor. And the best part is whenever you play a game and there's no traitor, but everybody's accusing everybody of being a traitor. So, but yeah, I almost didn't put it in here because it seemed too obvious for me to put it in because I talk about it quite a bit. If you watch the show, cooperative games aren't usually my biggest thing, but if I am talking about cooperative games, then Dead of Winter gets brought up. So. I think it's also one of my first cooperative game experiences I was like really happy about. So
cool. We have the Long Night one.
I don't know if there's much difference other than they just change out characters and there's different stories and stuff, but it kind of runs the same way, right? Yeah. I
think so. And I think it comes with like an addition of bandits or something like that that you can add in there.
Oh, okay.
So they'll go, I think, and block certain locations or something like that. Or like you have to, I can't remember. It's been so long. But yeah.
Yeah. And I even brought up, I Have Forgotten Waters, which has the same crossroads mechanism in it, but plays completely different. But I haven't played it yet. I've been told that I need to play that one because I'd like it maybe even more. So. This is the game that I decided I'll never get another zombie game afterwards, because this is what I want from a zombie game.
Yeah, it definitely had. It definitely has like a Walking Dead feel, where you're like going to scavenge places, buildings, and looking for stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'll never go watch another zombie television show because I got what I wanted already.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I hear that. Yeah.
So.
All right, back to me. Oh.
Yep. Back to you.
Well, okay. So my number 3 was the game. So let's just skip to Andrew, and then I will come back.
Oh, we skip back to me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still a thunder again.
What'd you say?
Still Katia's thunder again.
Oh, I'll try. I don't know, because I have a list and I don't have to go. So what else might be on your list? It's funny because it's right there, and so I might as well just talk about it. But The Crew, which is over on the ads, is well, you don't have to click on the ads. Is a really great co-op game that I remember playing. I think at BGG Con in 2019, or maybe 2020, the last time there was one. Well, I guess it was 2019 when there was one in 2020. And I was just kind of blown away by how they could take, again, something really simple in a trick-taking game and make it a really fun co-op. And like it's the mission parts of it that like really make it sing. So like I haven't played all the way through. And I probably only played like, I don't know, the first 10 or 15 missions, but they all go very quick. So you can get a bunch of them in. But I don't know, for anybody who doesn't know, it's a trick-taking game, but you're all working together and you have certain goals that you have to achieve each round. Certain people have to win certain tricks, or certain tricks have to be won in a certain order. In each round, the complexity around which you need to meet their certain conditions grows, and there's some, a couple of special wrinkles around it. But it was really clever and elegant in showing you how something that's like, again, just, cards with, suits and ranks can fill hours of your time in a really engaging way through very simple trick-taking mechanics that I think is really, really clever and fun.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I actually have the game. I have not yet played it yet. So this is making me want to play it. It's on that shelf of shame, right?
A shelf of opportunity.
Either way. I get that. That's a better way because I don't feel shameful about it. So
right, exactly. So
Great.
Back to you, Chris.
Oh, back to me. Wow, that was fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so so my next one is Betrayal on the House of the Hill. Again, I guess semi-cooperative because one person eventually becomes the traitor, right?
I sense a theme here. You like a little bit of competitiveness, like sprinkled in.
Actually, one of the reasons why I tend not to like cooperative games is because I won't say I don't like them, because as I was doing this list, I was like, wow, I do like a lot of cooperative games, but they have to have the communication issues or the secret information or traitor or something like that, because the ones that are just wide open where you can have a quarterback messing with, like, telling everybody how to do it, I am the one that would be that quarterback if they didn't know not to stop themselves from doing it. Like a long time ago I was like, oh, I'm that guy, I don't want to be that guy, so I stopped myself from it. But that means that I'm not participating in those as much. So all of my cooperative games usually have hidden information, or enough to where I can't go, you should do this, because I don't know what you have.
Need some degree of variance or hidden information or something to it. That was my issue with Spirit Island, is I felt like when I played it very much leaned into quarterbacking. But at a certain point, I was just like, I don't know, you tell me what I should do.
See, it's funny. I had the opposite feeling with that one. I felt like it didn't have that.
It might have been people I played with. I was like, you're just, because it's so complicated too, and they're just like, you seem to have this figured out better than I do. My contribution is only, I don't know, hurting us. So tell me what I need to do here.
Yeah,
Totally making things worse.
with Spirit Island, you're right. There's so much going on that I'm concerned about what my turn is and what I'm doing next without thinking about other people. Most of those cooperative games where you have all the information, they're kind of simple. You only have like 5 actions to do. So, so it's easy to quarterback, I guess. But
it accounts for the quarterbacking with complexity. But if you have a good enough quarterback, they can do all of the mental gymnastics. And I feel like I wasn't smart enough to figure out my part of it. And then there's oddly that weird pressure that, like, well, if I screw up, then I lose it for all of us, because like if it's not because of variance, because a lot of these games you'd be like, well, the cards just didn't come up right away, or you rolled this thing, or these things came up in the wrong order. But with that one, it was just like, yeah, I just didn't do this right, and now everything falls apart.
Yeah.
So anyway, Betrayal in the House of L. Not that we talked about it at all, but actually, I thought of this just before, whenever, Katia, you were talking about how if a game gets so complicated, you don't want to play it again. Because on the reverse of that, if it's too simple or too easy, a person might not want to play again. I played this with a friend for the first time, and I was trying to tell him how, you never know what's going to pop up, and describe to him, how fun it is. And of course, inevitably, whoever the newest person is, they end up being the traitor, just because of bad luck, right? And I was like, well, we can switch it or something, and he was like, no, let me try. And his was, and I don't want to spoil scenarios or anything, but there was one with bats, basically. Bats came in through open windows. Well, the way it was structured was there was one open window. And the way to win the game is to kill all the bats. So one bat comes flying in and somebody goes, and that ended the game. And it was just this weird, like everybody went to the basement, so there were no windows or something. It was just this weird scenario that was unlikely. But he was like, this is the dumbest game ever. I sat here for an hour, and that's all you had to do was roll a die and kill a bat, and we win. And so, that kind of thing can happen in this game. But it's not always the case. But the funny thing is that's a story I tell about this game, and I think it's hilarious. So that's why I like it. You never know what's going to happen.
And it's back to me. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So my next one is, in fact, the Batman the Animated Series. Gotham Under Siege.
He's not here. You don't have to say that.
I don't care if he's here or not. It was, so when we played it, the thing that I really enjoyed was the decisions in where you put your dice, but also like the way that the city works. So like you can see there on the picture that you can have your hero on top of the buildings. And when they're on top of the buildings, it means they can reach, if I'm not mistaken, like any one of the baddies around the city because they're on a rooftop. Versus if you're just on the ground level, then you can only access what's on your street. So I thought that was really cool. And the way that like everything kind of wipes out round after round. So you get new cards and you get new things to, like, new goals to achieve. I don't know. I just felt like that one had more elements to it than the average co-op. So it felt like there was a little bit more to do. And then you have, obviously, like your character's got special abilities that you can use. I just really, and I, believe it or not, the way that the buildings stack into one another to like fit in the box, I thought that was also very clever. It's the small things. But yeah, I really, really like this one.
Yeah, I guess I need to learn to play it.
Yes, you do.
Back to me?
I think Corey was talking about I think Corey was talking about Betrayal there.
The next one I thought of is the Chronicles of Crime series.
I haven't played that.
It's really good.
Is it?
It's really fun. And it just does a lot of really clever things in this cooperative crime solving genre of games. And then there's tons of versions of it and stuff now. And like the way that QR code and like the app integration, and there's a VR component to it and all. It's all really, really very slick and clever, and just a really fun, like engaging experience for all players. But also just like it's very clever in the way it like takes all these components and can like reuse them because of the technology. Like it's kind of like a technological marvel in the board game space too. Because I've often found that like, well, app enhanced or app driven games, like they don't quite land just right because it feels like they're not integrated well. This does such a good job with the integration, and again, the narrative aspects of it, and just the way it always plays out in your efforts to solve crimes. You feel like detectives. It's always just a very satisfying experience. You don't always win. Sometimes you kind of come close, but you misinterpret some things. But for a cooperative crime solving game where you get to sit down and be a team of investigators and detectives, it's really fun.
Nice.
I highly recommend it. So
yeah, I have it, and I have a bunch of the like those other like modules, those little expansions for it, and just haven't had time to try it, but it looks cool.
I know they have. There's another one, right? That's like a older time, like medieval times or something. Is that right? Or am I thinking of a different one?
They have it in a couple of different settings. I think this one is set in like modern day. I think it's London or Europe or something like that. But there's like I think 18th century one. There's like a high school sort of module to it that's
like almost
Buffy
almost reminded
style.
me of like retro, like the teenager on bikes.
That's the one I was trying to think of. I have the 1400 one.
And they have the noir. I think there's one that's like, I have that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to try it.
And there's really no limit to the stories they could tell with it. They could, I can't even think of all of them, but they do a futuristic sci-fi version that could be like Blade Runner-esque or something. They could do, I don't know if they have conversations about it, but they could do licensed versions of it, certainly.
Yeah.
The Friends version.
Yeah.
Friends solving a crime. They're trying to find Marcel, the monkey.
The monkey.
Yeah. All right, great one. Is that back to me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Wow, this is going by fast, or it feels like it anyway. All right, I cannot pronounce it, but it's known as Mysterium.
This almost made my list.
Did it?
Yeah.
This is the version I have. Before they announced the American version, I heard about it. I was intrigued enough that I bought it from Poland. It took months to get here and everything. And then 2 weeks after I got it and played it, they were like, we're making an American version. Of course you are. But it's all new art. And I think the art is great on both of them. It was kind of like, I was kind of torn as to getting the other one just because I like the art there too, but I love the art in this one as well. So I'm happy having this one. And, I know it plays a little differently too.
They added a couple wrinkles to the English version because I played the Polish version at a BGG-Con like the first year it came out as well, because it's all art. Like it's entirely language independent. But I guess they found some need to gamify a couple elements a little bit more, add a couple components in Mysterium. And honestly, I don't know if that really adds to the game. It added some complexity, but I don't think it really needed it. So I guess for anybody who doesn't know, this game is basically like Dixit meets Clue.
Yeah.
Where you play cards to get people to guess things on associated cards, and it's all art driven. And then you're using those connections of art cards to determine a suspect, a location, and a weapon, like Clue style.
Okay. That's cool.
I don't have these little globes. What are these little globes?
I think that's for the players as the psychics to make their declarations of what they think you're like. That is trying to find the suspect, and you're like, I think you're telling me it's this suspect because you played this card. And like the fun thing is that you can infer all sorts of things, because like the idea is someone is a ghost, and through like psychic mediums they're trying to communicate things about the crime that led them to be a ghost. So they're trying to tell these psychics, this is the room in which I was murdered, and this is the weapon with which I was murdered, and this is the person who did it. But they do that by playing cards, and some people go like, well, this card has a similar shape as this card, so I think it's this thing, or this card has a lot of this color palette on it, so I think it's related to this thing, or this card seemed to have this kind of setting that I see a lot of water in it, so I think it's related to this object, like a pitcher or something like that. And the ghost can't say anything, so they just sit there the whole time and just have to be stone faced and listen to these people make these suppositions about the clues that they're giving. It's really fun.
Yeah, my version came with little wooden discs.
Oh,
I didn't get little globes.
you need some crystal balls.
I know.
I wonder if that's something that somebody added on.
It might be. Yeah.
Maybe.
That's the problem with BGG. Yeah, see, these little wooden discs were what I have. That's the problem with BGG, is you never know what they... Because when we were showing the Batman one, all of the minis were painted. They don't come that way, right? So
right.
Yeah. When we played Michael's version, they were all, I think, HeroClix figures.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, no, but wait. Go back. Right there.
Oh, yeah.
Version.
They do come with a game.
Yeah, I don't have that. Well, fine. Now I'm going to remove it as my number 4. No, or number 2, or whatever it was.
Those look custom.
Yeah, those look custom, yeah.
And I think there's a newer version of it that simplifies things again. I think it's called Mysterium Park.
Yes, and I've played that one, which is kind of cool because I get the kind of art. It's the American art style and that, so I got to see what that was like as well. It's not quite as good, but it's a little more streamlined. So, well, I won't say it's not quite as good. I like a little heavier version more, but I still liked it. Yeah. Yep. Very good. Cool. Who's next? Is that Katia?
I think it's back to me.
This is your last one?
Yes. My last one is Pandemic Legacy Season 1.
I knew we couldn't get out of this without someone saying pandemic.
Well, no, but there's a big difference between just the regular pandemic and this. That was some of the most fun gaming experience that I've had. And Season 2, so far, I'm so unimpressed. So, like Season 1, for those who haven't played it, your characters get like abilities when you're I believe it's when you're successful in your mission that you end up being able to upgrade certain characters. When you fail at missions, you're being given cards that will help you out to add into the deck so that the next time you have better odds of being successful. So it kind of balances itself out. Like when you do too well, then it doesn't give you a whole lot to work with. And then if you fail, then it helps you out. So it has a nice balance that way. And then there's like synergy that you can build between characters throughout the game as well. That gives you little bonuses when you start in the same spot. Just the storyline overall of Season 1, the way that things progress, and how things tank in a way very early on in the game. All of a sudden it's like, oh, didn't see that coming. And then all of a sudden it's like, wow, okay, things got really bad. And then you're just trying to do damage control. And then, yeah, like throughout the game, things like there's these moments where things shift, and it's, I don't know, it was really, really enjoyable to go through that whole story. And we ended up not winning the last game. But the way that it works is that when you're all done, you tally up, I think, certain things, and it gives you like how you did. But it was just, the whole thing was just so good. And yeah, I don't know how season 0 is, but so far, yeah, season 2 has been a bit of a dud. We haven't, I think we played 3 or 4 games. We haven't won any of them. Like, it's just, yeah, it's about traveling, and I don't know, it just, it hasn't had the same impact. So
Do you know, without spoilers, of course, do you know if there's a difference between the blue and the red box, or is it just for fun?
no, there's no difference at all.
Oh, okay. That's interesting that they
like
just
season
did 2 boxes.
Season 2, I think you had the choice between a yellow box and another color, and we looked into it, and they said it was the exact same thing, but the yellow box for some reason was like $15 cheaper. So it's like, sure. But it's the exact same game inside. It's just different box covers. So
Strange.
yeah.
I've never had a chance to play any of the Pandemic Legacies. I mean, I played Pandemic, but I just never had a group that wanted to sit down and play through it all. And I hear that it's like one of the best Legacy experiences and a great co-op game. So I was like, I don't know, well, but I've avoided spoilers too. So I was like, well, I can still play sometime.
Yeah, you certainly can. But yeah, I think the way that each game affects your next one is also so well done. Like, when you have those explosion of clusters, or like when it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, this spread over here, which spread over here, and because it's Legacy, we all know, you add stickers, so things eventually get progressively worse. So that then your next game, you're going to try and make sure that those areas that have stickers don't get worse, because then it really affects your gameplay. So it sort of directs, where you're going to focus your attention. And so the whole thing was just really, really good. Like I said, the story was really like you felt invested, and you felt like you cared. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Andrew, I've only played Pandemic, not any of the seasons. Okay, so Andrew?
Well, I figure I can't really resist, and I am honestly very proud and think these games are great. So I have to say Thanos Rising.
Yeah.
I mean the whole Rising line, but this was the first one, and I still am honestly humbled when I see people post about it and play it and say that they love it, or it's one of their favorite games or one of their favorite co-ops. We played it at the Gathering a couple of months ago, and I still enjoy it. I still have a good time every time I play. And one of the things that I actually really like in some of these pictures have demonstrated is how much people customize the games, and they painted the figure, come up with their own fan cards for it. I've seen different variants people have created. One recently where they kept all the mechanics, but they rethemed all the cards for Silver Age Marvel. So it's got Fantastic Four characters, and some of the characters are the same, but different Avengers, and they found all this Silver Age art for a fan version of it. So I think that's one of the cool things about it, is that it is continued to sustain in popularity because people get inspired by it, and I love seeing that creativity. But I mean, I'm certainly biased and partial to it, but I think it's a really fun, challenging co-op game. Yeah, there's some band cards.
Stan, that's great. Yeah, I never look down on fellow designers that throw their games into lists and stuff, because if you didn't like the game, you wouldn't have made it, right? Of course, you make games that you love. Yep. These are fun. Oh wow.
There's some of those are actual promo cards. Those are not made up. There's a bunch of
These are
promo cards. There's like 8 or 10 total ones. So I designed all these too, all the promo cards. I got to design all the mechanics for, and they were given out at conventions and stuff like that. And people will still to this day like send me messages on BGG, things like, "Hey, do you have any of these promo cards? They're out of print," and stuff like that. I think someone changed the art on that. So here's a fun story. Disney Marvel doesn't have likeness rights for Benicio del Toro as the collector. So if you look at the actual game version of it, you can't see his face. It's all like cloaked in shadow, because they just didn't have likeness rights to the actor. So if you want to, you can include the character, but you can't show what Benicio del Toro looks like. So somebody went in and like re-illustrated on top of it to show what it could have looked like.
Oh wow! Now I kind of want to find it.
Yeah. So here's someone who made the I guess
Netflix.
What Marvel Knights, the Netflix series characters. I think you'd have to go into the forums to find the Silver Age variant. So I don't know if you want to look for it or not, but it's a pretty cool version of it. And I remember before the there you go. See that? That's you can't see it. Before the Batman Who Laughs version, the Dark Knight's Metal version came out, somebody like reskinned it just as a DC version. There's a bunch of fun stuff out there. So yeah, I think it's really fun. I'm also really proud of it. I still enjoy it. So there you go, number 1.
Great.
Very cool.
I feel like that one might be in order.
Save the best for last.
Yeah. And I guess I'm down to the last one, right? So my last one is Sleeping Gods. This one goes against, I don't know if either of you have had a chance to play it. It's fairly new. It came out this year, right? It came out earlier this year. But Sleeping Gods is, this kind of breaks my rule, where everybody has all the information, and you could kind of quarterback, but it just doesn't really happen, because it's all of you. Oh, somebody painted a little boat. It's all of you kind of traveling around in this world of Ryan Lockett's. Wow, this is
oh my gosh, those are cool.
Yeah, somebody's painted these up and created those. Those aren't in the game. That's pretty much how the game looks. But basically, you can go anywhere you want. It's sandbox, right? So it's just you sitting on a boat with a bunch of other people saying, where do you want to go? So it's not really you can quarterback, because it's not like anybody knows anything, right? It's you go, oh, hey, remember that lady said this and this, so we should go look at this. And other people go, nah. Like there's nothing to figure out and go, oh, you do this and you do this, and then we'll, there's no way to do it, because it's just a full-on adventure. So I've been through 2 campaigns of it. Every campaign's different, because you can just go wherever you want. You could repeat the campaign if you wanted to, but that wouldn't be fun, right? So this little boat right here, it's out of focus, but basically you're at this little spot, and if you all decide, you can move over to this spot and see what number 45 is in the book. And it's, like his other games where you have a book and you read a story, you make decisions and stuff like that. So Highly recommended. It's one of my favorite games of the year.
Cool. Yeah, I had heard really good things about it, but yeah, I don't have it. Haven't had the chance to try it either. So, but
I don't
I
know if
love
it's-
his artwork, and
Yeah.
yeah, I had heard the game itself was really good. So, hopefully someday get to try it.
I don't know if it's hard to get or not, because I got it through the Kickstarter, right? Red Raven Games is one of those very few instant back whatever they have. I just back it because I know I'll like it kind of thing. Oh, somebody made their own inserts and stuff. But yeah, this book right here, like if you're sitting on this island, let me get close to it. If you're sitting on this island, this is the first thing you'll ever see. By the way, I'm not showing anything that's spoiler. You could just flip through these; it doesn't matter. But if you're sitting right here and you decide, oh, let's go down, you just turn the book to page 8, and you've got a different place to look at. And you have a whole map too that like he has a whole map that shows you how it all lays out. Or you could go to page 13 if you go that way. You know, it's like an endless world almost. And you go see what all this stuff. And I love like every little thing that's drawn on here, it could be in the story depending on what you do. So, you know, you might just go, hey, I saw some cool, you know, a little cool village over there. Let's see what that is. Sometimes you have reasons to go places. Sometimes you don't. And sometimes you're just like, let's see what's over here. And that's usually what gets you in trouble, by the way. If you don't have a reason to go somewhere and you just kind of randomly go there, yeah, sometimes it's not a good idea. But it's fun.
Good to know.
Yeah.
The only good things.
Yeah, the only criticism that people have is that the fighting is really tough. Like you can all lose in combats and stuff. And he's made a extra easy what do you call it? Like an extra easy version, basically saying you start off with this kind of thing. I don't know if that's needed as much, but you know, some people might enjoy it more if they had a little more help at the beginning. So
Fair
I
enough.
could definitely see it though. Yep, that's my number
Cool.
one.
Awesome.
So many
And
good
now
games.
we have a trivia planned.
Oh,
Yes, she's got some board game trivia
Uh-huh.
to embarrass us with.
I don't know.
So
Let's see.
you need probably just paper and pen if you have something nearby to write your answers. There's going to be
Yeah.
Give me 2 seconds. I'll grab something.
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
I'll grab some paper too.
Sure.
Now you're all
I'll
alone.
pull up my
Sure.
questions.
There we go. This is whenever he comes back and there'll be like someone in the window behind him.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about that.
Halloween time.
It's not creepy at all.
Well, we didn't really have a Halloween show, did we?
Yeah, but still, I'm okay
Yes,
with that.
we forgot about Halloween. Is Halloween not one of your favorite holidays?
No, I really like dressing up. I love the costume aspects of it. I just don't like ghost stories.
Is it just as big in Canada as it is in the
Yeah.
US?
I think
Okay.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, we really didn't do much this year. Sometimes we do more, sometimes we don't. But I enjoy the fall. It's my favorite season, and we barely have one here in Texas. Like none of our trees turn red or anything. They mostly stay green the whole way through the whole year.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah, that's
but I love the color orange, obviously. So, fall is my favorite. The cool winter and stuff. But our fall doesn't start until like it's just now starting to feel like fall. So,
sure. It's been it's actually been delayed. It feels like this year it's been warm for longer. So normally by the time that our Thanksgiving rolls around, the leaves are already all brown and stuff like that. But this year it was almost like just past its peak. So it's like everything got shifted by like a week or two. But now it's getting cool. So
I wish we had orange leaves and everything like that here. I love the look of it.
Yeah. I like when it's in the yellows and orange.
Hmm.
Yeah. When it's starting to turn and yeah.
We're kind of in the height of that right now in Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's really
nice.
nice. It's really pretty.
So you're in Seattle. Katia, you're in.
I'm in Ontario.
Yeah, I don't know where that is in Canada.
So around the Great Lakes, like you
Oh, okay.
yeah, like close to Toronto.
Oh,
You know
okay.
where Toronto
Okay,
is?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm like about an hour and a bit.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm going to be
Like to the-
visiting at the end of the month.
Pardon?
I'm going to be visiting Toronto at the end of the month.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh damn. We should we should make plans or something.
Yeah, if you want to come into town.
Yeah, I can probably make it. I like never go to Toronto, but I mean if it's for a visit like that, I'm sure I can make it out there.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So I have 20 questions.
20. Wow.
All board game related to test your knowledge about several board games.
Great.
Okay.
So, question number 1. On the cover of Cartographers, what is the man holding in his hand?
I've never played that game, but I'm guessing, and that's all I can do. Are we writing all of the answers down first, or
Yeah, I was going to do that.
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh, I thought we were going to just do one at a time.
Or we can do them one at a time. Whatever.
Let's do it one at a time so people can kind of have time to answer them.
So then I will do a column and then I will keep track that way. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I just grabbed like a little dry erase card so I could reveal them.
There you go. Okay.
Oh, that's
so
a good idea.
what are your answers for number 1?
All right. See it?
Spyglass.
Yeah, I put a sextant.
Good guess. Ooh, good guesses. It's a quill.
A quill?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you like write in the game, right? Is it roll and write or something like that?
It's a flip and write.
Or flip and write?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a map. Like in front of the guy, there's a map.
Oh.
And there's the thing of ink, and he's holding the quill.
Oh. Yeah. I can picture the guy because I think he's like bald and
he's got the glasses here, like
yep.
And
I thought he had like a telescope spyglass thing in his hand, but I don't remember it. I have played it. It's a really fun flip and write.
I just got the new one today. It just arrived. The like there's a few expansions in there, and they've sort of changed like the cards that come with it and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to try it. All right. So then we have no points for this one.
All right.
Question number 2. Who published the game Santorini?
I should know that.
I was like, I'm not going to cheat. Like, we're all sitting in front of computers. Like, oh, I can Google that.
Yeah, mine's in the other room.
No Googling thing.
Mine's in the other room, so I can't cheat. It's not behind me. But and I should know this because I worked on Ragnaroks, which is done by Gord. Okay. This isn't right, but
I think it was right.
All right. Spin Master versus Fireside. No, it's actually Roxley Games.
Roxley. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But you mean like originally? Now I'm like, wait a minute, because there's a Target version.
Oh, you know what? You're right. There's 2 logos on there.
Oh,
you are correct.
There's probably 3. There's probably a Fireside. I don't know. Let's just count that as a wash.
Yeah, it's Roxley and Spin Master.
Yeah,
all right, Andrew gets the point.
That counts, I guess.
Like
no, it's Moops.
I think Roxy put out like a Kickstarter version, and then the version that went into retail, Spin Master partnered with them to put the retail version out. So
I will give it to you, even though it's probably Roxley who picked it up first.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will definitely see that point. But I was like, I know that when it went to like Target, Walmart and stuff, it had a partner.
You ever see the Seinfeld where they're doing Trivial Pursuit and the answer is the Moors, but there's a misprint and it says Moops?
No.
And they're arguing about, no, that's incorrect. The card says Moops. Yeah.
Have you seen the Trivial Pursuit card for? It's like, which of these following 4 actors has not played Batman? And it came out before Ben Affleck had played Batman, and he was one of
Oh,
the choices. So
that's
like
great.
it was when it was printed, Ben
Yeah.
Affleck was the right answer. Now there is no right answer on that Trivial Pursuit card.
That's funny. It's
That
almost
is
like they
funny.
said, "Who would never play Batman?"
Yeah.
But they had to pick somebody who like people could guess. You know,
Right.
Yep.
they didn't put
Yep.
like Milton Berle.
Right. Worst Batman ever.
All right. This one is actually Andrew. Andrew is probably going to get it, but you still get to guess. How many cards are in the Darth Vader Rising promo pack?
Oh,
God.
I don't know that off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Take a guess.
You have more dogs in that race, right? Wild guess.
I will laugh if Chris gets it right
That'd be great.
and Andrew doesn't.
Wild guess. Good
No
guess.
pressure.
I'm guessing 2. I mean, it's an educated guess, but I think, and I'm not sure if it's
Did
right.
you not design them?
Yeah, but it's been a long time. It's been a couple years, and I don't remember
All right.
all of.
Like I couldn't answer questions about some of my first stuff. Yeah.
All right. Reveal your answers. Oh, it is 8.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but I was like, I feel like that's the right number.
Yeah. All right. What was Lacerda's first published game with Eagle Griffin?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I think I know.
Wow.
I hope this is right, and I hope it is one of his games, or I'm gonna be really embarrassed.
Okay.
All right. What are your answers? Kanban and Escape Plan. No, it was the Gallerist was the first one.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember who was on the escape plan. That's one of his, right?
Yeah, it is his.
I think it's the
Yeah.
only one I've played of his so far. I want to play other ones, but
Yeah,
I've never
I have
played any
a
of them.
bunch of them. It's just they're such a beast to learn that.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know of my issues of having to learn that game, but once I learned it, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Kanban or Kanban, I don't know how to pronounce it. That is one of his games, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was
I
that
was like, I'm gonna be
Stronghold?
embarrassed if I got that wrong.
Was that Stronghold that did Kanban?
The
No, I
first
think
one, I
it's-
think so.
Oh, is that? It's not
Yeah, I
Eagle
think the
Griffin
first
one.
one was and then he redid Kanban EV, I think, with Eagle Griffin.
So I would have been right if you just said like his first game, but not his first Eagle Griffin.
Actually,
game.
no, because his first game was Vignos,
Oh.
I thought that was. Oh, okay.
and that was with I think that was with Yellow, if I'm not mistaken.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Now he's an Eagle Griffin man.
All right. In what year did Codenames come out?
Okay.
Yeah, he might know. In all fairness, I didn't know he had worked on some of those games, so that was in my question.
Yeah, but I still have to like go back and date the years to remember.
It doesn't
So-
help. He's touched almost every.
Right? I
Game.
didn't realize that. All right. Because I have a bunch of question later too, I think.
And I'm not looking to my left. There's a whole bunch of them right here. so-
Okay. All right, what do we got? Oh, actually, Chris is closer, but it was 2015.
Ah.
That long ago?
Yeah.
Oh wow. I thought it was more recent.
I mean, I've been playing Codename Pictures for a long time, so I'm not surprised that it's 2015.
Do I get a point for being closest?
Sure.
Is that how we're playing?
I'll give you a half. I'll give you a half.
A half? Okay. All right. I'll take a half.
point.
It's COVID times. Time's lost all meaning.
All
I realize
right.
it's been out for
True.
6 years. Wow.
Mhm.
So I feel like
Okay.
we lost the year, right?
Next question. Who designed the game Mage Knight?
You have to spell it right.
Nah. All right. What are your answers?
Right.
Yeah. A lot of V, L's, CHE.
Wait, I want to see how you spelled that, Kurt.
Oh, it's all wrong. But you know
Very
who I
much.
knew.
I was like, I'm just gonna call him Vlada because
yeah.
I'm on a first name basis with him.
Chris just made a new name for him.
Yeah, so many A. This is why I can't do cursive, because if I hit the M, I just go on forever kind of thing. It's the same thing. Too many A's and V's in there.
Oh, all right.
Also good code names.
Question number 7. What is the player count for the game The Crew?
It's funny that I listed it. I still might get this wrong.
Wait.
I know, it's almost as if I ran my questions by you.
I think I saw it. I think I saw it on the box when we were just talking about it. So that's what I'm going to base this off of.
All right. Show me your answers. No, it's 2 to 5.
Oh.
All right. No,
wow.
Question 8. This one might be a bit harder. The box for the game Seventh Continent is only 2 colors. What are those 2 colors?
I actually have 2 boxes for that game.
Yeah, I think there's 2 possible combinations. I think I've seen 2. So, but when I looked it up earlier, it was always the same one coming up. So I'm going with that one.
Oh,
but
wait, sorry. Okay.
All right. What do we got? Black and gold. Yes. Correct.
Yeah, I never even got into the second box.
I think it's white and gold, the second one.
I think it's white and black or something like that.
Regardless, you got the answer I had. All right. In Clank, what do the small cubes that get added to the bag represent?
We have to know the actual game term or like the concept?
Like the concept, yeah.
I don't know if I'm helping Chris or giving it away.
There'll be a few things I can accept based on. All right, answers. Yes. Both right.
Is there an actual term for it that they use? I can't remember.
I read noise in the one description and I read sound in the other, so I was really gonna take either. But yes. It
might also be different in the different versions. Like the space
I'm
one.
Not sure. I looked up the space one earlier and it also mentioned noise, so
okay. Yeah, I haven't played the space one. I want to. I've only played the original, the dragon one.
Yeah. All right, question 10. How many expansions does the game Dominion have?
This has got to be like closest to the right answer.
Wow,
yes.
Yeah.
I'll take closest.
For a half point if we're not dead on?
Sure. So you could round up. You could round up. This could be.
Are we just going to say? I mean, if somebody gets, are we just going to say whoever's closest?
Or
it's the point. Yeah. And so if somebody gets it right, they get it. If not, we'll.
And do we have to put a whole number?
I mean, this is what the conceit that we all agree that there are a lot.
Yes. Okay, so I will give the point to whoever's closest.
And you can go over. We're not playing Price is Right.
No,
right.
not Price is Right.
That's and we could use decimals, right? No,
there's like a half expansion, and then there's like a promo pack, which counts as like a quarter expansion.
I'm not counting promos. I'm counting expansions, including the ones that are standalone, just expansions.
Okay, I have a number.
All right. Give me your numbers. 21 and 9. Oh, Chris had it. It's actually 11.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it was way more.
So we're
Yeah,
at 5 to 4.5. So you're catching up.
4.5. I like the 4.5. I hope I win by the half.
I'll accept that.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought
all
there
right.
were a
Question.
ton more. I mean,
Yeah,
9 is still a lot.
I totally thought it was more too, and then I counted them, and I was like, no, it's just 11. In the game Caverna, which animal can be kept in mines?
This is embarrassing. I've never played Caverna.
Take a guess.
I played years ago, and I am going to relearn it before I go to BGG, but I haven't relearned it yet. So,
I probably will even guess an animal that's not even in it.
It's possible.
Like,
Yeah, there's one animal in there that you're allowed to
I
have
think it's
in
this.
your minds.
I think.
Okay, I had a guess.
All right, show me your answers.
Oh,
Pig and the pig. No, it was the donkey.
How
Because
strange is it that we
hauling
both
stuff, like they carry stuff.
Yeah, that we both picked the same animal.
Yeah,
right?
And I wasn't even sure if it was in the game. Is there a
in the
pig in the game?
Yeah,
it's in the game.
I remember
like
that there
the
was
same
an
guess.
animal
Yeah.
that could go into mines. I just didn't remember the donkey one. That makes sense though. Yeah.
I've
All
heard Caverna is very good. I feel like I
It
need to
is.
play it.
This question is going to be whoever gets the most amount right gets the point. But name the 4 resources in Stone Age.
Yeah.
This is another game I haven't actually played. I
Me
haven't played some of the classics.
Yeah, I haven't played that one either. I had to look that up on BGG.
That's fair. I can guess 4 resources.
Oh no, I started off so confidently. I've got 3, but what is the 4th? If I write Magic Hut, does that help? Oh no. Wow. I can't believe I've played this like 100 times. I just haven't played it in years.
I'm going to have to start the timer here.
I know.
I'm ready.
It's gonna make me so sad.
No, I said whoever's closest, so you might still get it.
Okay.
Remember, I haven't played, so I could get 0. I
Right.
could just get 1.
Correct.
All right, I'll put 1 in there, but I don't think that's it. Oh wait, maybe.
If I get this,
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna change it, and that's probably gonna be my doom. That's definitely my doom. All
All
right.
right. Show me what you got.
I was thinking
Clay, stone, wheat, and wood versus what do you got?
wood, stone, gold, and corn.
So, Chris, you are correct because it's wood, brick. Oh, wait, you don't have brick.
I don't have brick. When I saw his clay, I was like, oh, it's brick.
So it's actually wood, brick, stone, and gold.
Yeah.
So you have wood and stone, and you have wood and stone.
And I have gold.
wood.
And what did I say?
stone,
Brick.
gold. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have 3.
Yeah.
So Chris has 3.
Unless clay's not brick.
Yeah, it depends on if you want to call clay brick.
I wouldn't.
Okay. I'm not going to argue. Like I said.
It's a different resource. Okay.
I don't know how many people are, but I played Catan so many times, and like it was one of the first games I remember playing of the the hobby style games, and we always made up different names for the resources. I can't remember ever calling them what they are.
Yeah, that happens. I have demoed my game so many times that people start making up their own names for it during the demo. I'm like, nope, it's this. Like I kind of correct it a little bit, but after a while, I'm like, yeah, just let them call it whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can't control that stuff.
Well, speaking of Catan, question 13. What year did Catan come out?
Ooh.
And again, I will give the point to whoever's closest.
You know, I've only played Catan on Xbox.
I used to play it on the PlayStation.
We played it with, like, so much. When it was Settlers of Catan, in my gaming group, was one of our go-tos. When I guess there really wasn't that much out there.
Yeah.
That sort of had broken through to the wider market. All right.
What are your answers? Chris, you're not cheating, are you?
Oh no, I was looking at Stone Age.
Oh, Andrew has it by 1 year. It was 95.
I almost put that.
I was worried it was further back.
I can date it closely because I played it with my group of Magic friends, and like when we kept playing Magic, we wanted to play things other than Magic, and when we played as groups. And I know Magic came out in 93, 94, and I was like, so it had to be like right around that time, but it was after Magic had come out. I was like, 94, but one more year later.
Yeah. Question 14. Name one of the 4 base characters in Too Many Bones. Just one.
I've never played.
Neither have I.
I've heard it's very good, but I've also heard it's pretty dense and pretty complicated.
It's not that complicated. It's because, and we've talked about this before, the co-op games where each character does its own thing, and from game to game you're going to be playing a different character, and you basically have to like relearn, okay, so what does this character do? Like, it's not hard. They all kind of work the same way, and the mechanism of like upgrading works the same way. It's just that depending on which character you play, you're going to want to learn a little bit what the abilities are. So it's just a little bit of reading, I think, before you start. But it's not hard. I really enjoy the game. I find the thing that's missing from it is the end is very lackluster. If you win the last battle, it ends. Like, it just ends. Where it's like the whole game, you've had these lore cards that you're reading, and then when you beat the final monster, you don't get the closure. Like, I almost want that paragraph of like epic, how did I take this down? And that's my only beef with the game. It's like, I feel like that's missing. But anyways, the game itself is still good. All right. What are your...
Blackbeard, Edward Teach, I don't know.
The answers were either Picket, Patches, Tantrum, or Boomer.
I was so close.
Yeah, very close.
I had no chance.
No,
yeah,
me either.
It's okay. All right. How many shrimp tempura pieces are on the box of Sushi Go?
Not looking. It's right there. Okay. I just had this out for the last episode.
No.
Ready?
See, I try and balance things out. I gave him some, and then, All right, what are your answers? 3 and 2. No, it was actually 1. Just 1.
Oh.
One.
Just asking that question made me think it had to be more than 1.
All right. In the game Cockroach Poker, there are 8 different critters. Name 5 of them.
Never played.
Give it a guess.
All right.
I bet you can guess 1.
Yeah, but I don't want to write that.
Well, then that's
well,
on
that's
you.
on you.
I know. That's why I haven't played it. I hate them that much.
That's one where I'll probably give it to whoever has the most amount written that are correct out of 5, because it's a lot.
Can I write more than 5 then?
No.
Oh, okay.
That wouldn't be fair. You just write every, like, hold on, I'm just gonna write everything I can think of.
Yeah. All right.
All right. What are your answers?
Cricket.
Any closer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, let me refocus here.
Cockroach, grasshopper. Oh, you were close. You had 2. You had the cockroach and the fly. And Andrew has them all. Or at least got the 5 right.
Yeah, I have played. I don't think I could have named all 8, but I was like, okay, I know at least that many.
You were missing, I think you were missing the scorpion, the stink
Oh, yeah.
bug, and
Fly.
yeah, the fly. Yeah.
You know, I hate stink bugs. We have them a lot.
Stink bug I would not have come up with. That one would have evaded me.
Even the graphic, like on the card, it's like, what is it? What is that supposed to be? Is that a cricket? Yeah.
They actually stink.
Yeah, probably.
They do.
I would think.
It's even
All right,
worse if you squish them.
Question 17. How many vegetables are in point salad?
Oh, the marker's running out.
All right, let's see what you got. 6. Andrew has it. It is 6.
I think I can name them all. I knew 6, so I think I can name them all. Right?
I second guess myself.
Lettuce, carrot, tomato, onion, pepper, cabbage.
Yep.
Don't they have radish? Oh no, that's the onion, right? Yeah, absolutely. It looks kind of like a radish.
It helps that we played at Gathering recently.
I was not part of that. I can tell you that.
Oh, I don't know where you were. You were still there. You were around.
Yeah, I know, but I don't enjoy the game, so I would have not taken part in that game. I would have sat that one out.
You don't like it? Huh.
She notoriously hates the game, which I like it a lot.
I don't. No, not for me. All right.
I don't think I can win at this point, right?
I'm not gonna say that. Actually, that's not true. You still have a chance.
The last question is worth 5 points? Okay.
No, we're at question 18. What are the 5 colors of the fireworks in the game Hanabi?
That's actually an honorable mention I almost put on my...
Yeah, I was like, I saw it on the list too. I thought about it for cooperative games. I don't actually like Hanabi that much.
There's a better version, like I think it's called Baker Street something, but it's like the same kind of idea, but done in a Sherlock Holmes kind of deal. There's a little bit more to it, but I haven't played it in a long time. All right.
We played Hanabi before with somebody who was not a gamer at all. And the other 2 people we were playing with were gamers. And the person who was not a gamer wasn't even understanding the clue. Like, she wasn't retaining the information. And it was like you would tell her something, and in the following turn, she would have forgotten what you told her. And it was like, okay, but I just gave you that information. Obviously, we didn't say that to her, but it was like, yeah, we knew we weren't going to make it very far because it was just like the clues were going in one ear, out the other.
All right. I had to switch markers. I was running out. All
right.
So I've got, you said there's 5?
5.
I only have 4.
Okay. Well, then you're not going to get it.
Oh, no.
I could get it.
I've got it. I got it. Oh, no. Now this marker's running out. I need to replace these markers. Let me get a green one.
By the time you're done, you're going to have all 5 colors on your board.
I know. Almost. All right. Here we go.
All right. What do you have? Red, yellow, orange, green, purple. No. Blue, pink, white, yellow, and green. No, it's actually blue, green. Hang on. Blue, green, yellow, red, and white.
Well,
I had 3.
I have 4.
Blue.
Yeah,
Unless
you have
you
blue,
count
yellow,
pink
white,
to be
and green.
red.
And what did you have, Andrew?
I had.
Red, yellow. Oh, yeah. So the orange and purple are definitely not there. So, Chris, you got the point.
Yep.
Technically, I think the pink is more pink than red, but yeah. I'll
Okay,
take
well, it looked red from what I saw, but
I'll take it.
regardless,
Either way, you can have it.
Yeah.
Again,
you can have it.
I don't really like the game that much, so I'm like, I don't know. I played
I
it.
haven't played it in a long time, but I was just looking at it for the list, so that's why I haven't.
All right. In the game Azul, 2 of the 5 tiles don't have a pattern on them. What colors are those 2 tiles?
I assume you mean the first Azul?
Yes.
Wow, you got that fast. I
Yeah.
have to think about it.
We played this quite a bit.
I have 2, but I'm like, now I'm racking my brain. I think it's. All right, I'm guessing. I don't know if this is right.
All right. Let's see what you
It
got.
sounds like Chris definitely knows it.
It's red and blue.
All right.
The black ones have the little blue, like the little teal pattern on it. Okay, so Chris, if you get that last question right, then it's a tie. Well, actually, no, it's not a tie because you have the half point. So you could potentially win by the half point.
That would be great.
However,
Not fair, but great.
However, the question is favorable to Andrew.
Okay.
Uh-oh. And now I feel like way more pressure.
Yeah, you should. I will take whoever's closest, and that person gets the point. In what year did Munchkin come out?
Oh.
Why? Why do you do this?
Because it's fun.
Okay.
All right, let's see what you have.
Wow.
Oh, 2001.
2001?
2001.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So
nice.
I thought I was much older than that.
Chris wins with the half point.
Wow.
Comeback from behind.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Only because I begged for a half point. Otherwise, it's a real tie.
Hey, take that victory however you can get it.
Yep.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Well
That was
played.
fun.
Yeah, that was a good one.
There's some tough ones. Oh man, I should.
I mean,
it's older.
It's not bad considering. Like there was 20 questions, and Chris ended up at 8.5, and you ended up with 8 points. So like the ratio of how many you get right. Like I can't make them too easy.
You know what makes those questions really good that you picked is that they're like right on that edge. Like for the most part, there may have been 1 or 2 that we haven't played or something, but for the most part, you've got like, oh, I've seen that, or it's so close that it makes you want to stretch for it. Yeah,
You're like, yeah, I know this. Yeah.
It reminds me that there are some classics that I still need to play too, like Caverna and Stone Age.
Stone Age. I know. I still haven't played Stone Age, and I'd be curious as to how it would feel with like knowing that like I've played so many games now. It's like how would it feel to play that now? For the first time?
I don't know. It's kind of like when I back in '94, whenever Pulp Fiction came out, it was the first movie that was like that, and it was amazing and stuff. But then I would show my partner Erin Pulp Fiction way later after she's seen all the movies that came afterwards because of it, and she was like, "Yeah, it's okay." I think that's the same kind of feel. Like you might play Stone Age, go, "Yeah, it's okay," but because if you were along the ride of whenever Stone Age came out, it would feel bigger. So
I think that's what happened for us when we played Pillars of the Earth.
Same here.
So we had heard it was so good and people rated it so highly, and then we got a copy, played it, and it was like, okay, it's good. And then the second time we played it, I was like, okay, I feel like the end was the same as last time. Like you end up having to go and get those blue cubes. Like you have to have the blue cubes for the end because that is so swingy. And yeah, I was just like, huh. Like I liked the fact that like you would draw from the bag and then the people could pass. Like that mechanism was neat. But the rest of the game, I was like, it's okay. And I think it was because it was later in the gaming journey that
Same experience with that game. Yeah.
I hear people still rank Stone Age very, very highly for worker placement games. For like its complexity and length and weight and stuff like that. It's one of the best kind of just simple worker placement games. Does what it does really well. Doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles to it. Still very approachable, and sometimes things just stand the test of time, and they're like, that's still good for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you ask me what is a good gateway worker placement game, after I get done plugging my game, I'd probably say Stone Age.
Yes, I would normally say Lords of Waterdeep.
Right, that would be my example, but I haven't played Stone Age, and I feel like, well, if I played Stone Age, then I might say that more. But for me, I would say Lords of Waterdeep.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, and I also see it over your shoulder, another honorable mention. Co-op game that didn't come up and reminded also by the same designer as Lords of Waterdeep is Horrified.
I haven't played those.
It's right behind you.
Oh yeah, I haven't played it. I just got the copy. I haven't played it.
Oh, there you go. It's a very good co-op.
Yes, it's very good.
Where do you see it?
Other shoulder.
It's
above brass. And
there
it is. Yep.
Sorry, it's because today I cleaned up and because my game boxes are exploded everywhere because I dig out components. And so today I was tidying up, so things have moved. And I was like, where did I put it?
You know what? I might even make this my number 6 now that you brought it up. I mean, and this, you could actually quarterback this one, but I've been trying to be a better person. So.
Yeah, I think you can, but in my experience playing it, I think the weight of games helps with the quarterbacking. The heavier they are, the more they tend to have quarterbacking problems. If they're lighter, if the turns are quicker, if it's a little bit more well-paced, it doesn't happen because you're like, okay, I just do this, and my turn's done, and you move on. And, the pacing of it, I think, helps a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's also, for whatever reason, the design tends to get you to discuss like, oh, but we really got to take care of this. What do you think of this? Like there's not just one right answer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, if you look at the, statistics, we should do that. There's not really that. So yeah.
There's enough variance that,
and
I think, good co-op games need enough variance that you can think about it, mitigate it. But at a certain point, you're like, I think this is probably best, but like things could go bad very quickly if this or this happens. We're just going to hope for the best. And I know,
also,
go ahead.
I was just going to say. All right, you.
I was going to say with the rising games, going back to that, like because there's a lot of dice-driven stuff, and I know sometimes people complain, it's like, well, it's a little too random. And it's like, yeah, but it helps with the replayability and the quarterbacking because you're like, I think this is the right thing to do, but you roll a lot of dice, so you could only like try and sort of move the probability in your advantage. And you're like, if this happens, or if the dice come up this way, we get wrecked all of a sudden. And then, but you have those, like, I think it's better to have those higher highs and lower lows than, for a game to be overdeveloped, especially for a co-op, because, then you get those moments that, this, and I saw someone describe it, the term fiero, like that moment where everyone goes like, yeah, you raise your hands up in victory. And I've seen it described like fiero defined that way before, but I saw it again recently. And I was like, yeah, that is a really fun moment. And I think that's where, especially co-op games are great, where you can all sort of have that woo, hands up in the air, cheering victory moment.
Yeah, because if you do that in a competitive game, people don't like that.
No.
I had a discussion with another designer once where he was designing a competitive game, and he said, I want that moment where that person has that awesome turn and they're like, yes, and they're, ooh, that kind of thing. And I said, yeah, but what about the rest of the table? Like, you're not thinking about the rest of it. And with cooperative games, you don't have to think about, okay, this guy's having fun, but are they like, everybody's happy if something right goes wrong, right? I mean, right goes right. Something goes right. That's what I meant.
I think the only time that it's acceptable in a way, if you're by yourself, is if you were the trader in a co-op game. And then you're like, yes! And everybody's like, no!
In your face!
There's like some kind of solidarity. I think that's acceptable. But yeah, if you're playing something that's cool, like competitive, and you're just like, woohoo! And yeah, that's just not.
I did do that once against Aaron, but it's only because we had played Splendor like 12 times in a row, and she beat me 11 times. And I was just like, let's do it again, because I couldn't wrap my head around how to win. And finally, the 12th one, I was like, yes, we never have to play this again. I got it. And she was laughing. So
I had the exact same experience in reverse with Splendor, where I was playing it with my ex, and I kept winning, and because I wasn't gonna like throw the game, you know, and I think I did have a little bit of a better sense of how to win, because I'm not like there's enough variance in like the way the cards come up and their strategies in the game, but there's a couple things that you can do that, you know, put you on a better path to victory. And she was always like a step behind, and like started getting frustrated with like, one more game, I'm gonna beat you, one more game. And she finally did it. It's like, yes, I won, we never have to play this game again.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, but I like this game. Like, yeah, of course you did. Kept winning.
Yeah, that is the kind of game where if you're a step behind and the other person doesn't mess up, you will always be right.
Yeah.
And she never messes up. So I had to figure out how to stay on the same level. It was very difficult, but yeah. So in small instances like that, I think it's okay, as long as you know the person really well and everything. Yeah.
I think Century Spice has that as well. If you're behind a little bit, you kind of stay behind the whole time.
Yeah, Century Spice is kind of like not the next level, but it's just slightly more interesting Splendor.
It's a bit more planning in your cards, and I really enjoyed that game. I really like the trying to figure out what to exchange when, like, I really enjoyed that. It's puzzly in a way.
I still haven't played the third part of that.
Same.
You know how there were three parts?
I played the first and second, but I haven't played the third.
I have the third one. I just haven't played it.
We played the first one, we played the second one by itself, and then we played the 1 and 2 together.
I haven't combined them.
It's different enough. I mean, of the two, I still prefer, I think, Century Spice by itself. Like,
it's a little simpler, you know, a little quicker to kind of get into, and I think it's a little more satisfying to like build that engine and get it to go. And
yeah,
right.
But it was good.
You played the I don't know what they're called, but there's a Golem version and another version.
I have the Spice one, like the not the Golem.
I was upset with the Golem thing because I would have totally gotten the Golem thing, but they came out with that like a month later.
Yeah,
and
I had
got it right away.
Yeah, I had gotten it basically because somebody had said, oh, they're not going to make the expansions or like the following ones in the Golem series. They're just keeping it, you know. So I'm like, all right, then I'll get the Spice one. And so then all of a sudden it's like, oh, the Golem one comes out. And then, it's like, great.
Yeah, I know some people felt a little bait and switched by it. Because they're like, I would have gotten this one, but I didn't thought that this one wasn't coming out for the other ones, and I want them all in the same. And then they just like, I don't think it was intentional. I don't think they expected the excitement around the other version. And then they're like, well, people seem to really like this one, so let's put out the other ones with it. But some people were like, but you said you weren't going to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm not the kind who's going to go and buy the other series just because, you know, it's like I already have it, whatever.
Yeah. I wish they'd come out with both of them at the same time, was my only complaint, because then I would have chosen the Golem one.
I think most people would have too. So that's the thing. It's like, I don't understand where the decision came from. I don't know.
You never know what happens behind the. I mean, sometimes it's like they promised the designer that he could have his Spice Road one, but someone like on the development team goes, "We could do this," and he goes, "No," and you know, you never know what's going on with those discussions and stuff in the background. But
well, and it's like, so the game Equinox that I got fairly recently, you have the choice of 2 different box cover. So there's the one with the deer, and it's like a purple cover, and the deer with like the moss coming off from the antlers, and the other one looks like some kind of like golem or something like that. I don't really know what you would call him. And to me, like from day one, I was like, this is so like, it's clear in my mind which box cover is going to be the most popular one. Like I would bet money on which one sold more, and probably by a fair bit. So I find it weird that a publisher would even offer that, like to offer two box cover. I don't see the purpose of that, other than to make it more.
So they
did it with we talked about it with Pandemic Legacy, right? The red and the blue, and like
same thing. And the fact that they weren't even the same price too. That just
like for sure that one's more popular, right?
The purple one?
Yeah.
I actually would get the green one.
Huh. I like the purple one.
I find he's very weird looking.
He's kind of derpy.
Purple one's so epic looking. Like,
I like them both. I'd be happy with either one, but if I had them both besides, I would pick the green one.
Well, it's interesting that this is also a Plan B game, like the Century series.
I guess they like to provide options. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, they did that with Abyss too. Do you remember they did different faces?
I was about to mention that as well. They had like 4, maybe even 5 different. I think they had 5 because they're like 5. They're like the 5 gods or something.
I didn't know Abyss is Plan B.
No.
But they did. But they had 5 different versions of the box with the different, the leaders of the factions or something.
Right. Oh yeah, there they
are.
There
they are.
Yeah.
So that one. That one's my favorite, but I couldn't find it when I got the game.
That's a cool one. Oh, he almost looks like Thanos.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
or like Magneto, like the helmet of Magneto.
Right. But yeah, I have that version.
I think that was the most common one. I think the other ones were for exclusives for certain retail channels or something like that. I think that was the one they made the most of. I think that's the one I have too.
Yeah, I would have liked the green one more, but I had that, and I think like the pinkish one as a choice for wherever I bought it. I don't remember where I went to a store. I don't remember which one though.
I think it's being reprinted.
Is it?
Oh, maybe.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Colin, who works at Luma, sharing something about it.
That's
interesting.
It has 2 expansions too, so I wonder if they're going to reprint the expansions as well.
I really like the game. I think it's fun, and
it's a cool game.
It's pretty gateway. It's pretty simple.
It came out just about the same time as 5 Tribes, I think. And Five Tribes. Well, hold on, let me see. 5 Tribes. Something else came out right around. Yeah, 5 Tribes came out a year before, and 2014. Wow, that's a long time.
That is a long
that
time.
missing year, right? But 5 Tribes came out, and that's what made me go, okay, I'm going to see what else he's done, and that's when I saw Abyss and grabbed that.
Yeah.
So, one of my favorite designers because of all that. Plus, I think you get Cyclades, and So,
I really like Imaginarium. That's another one of his.
I haven't played that one yet.
Yeah, it's cool.
Anyway.
So I have to mention, this is totally changing subjects, but I know y'all talk about, other geeky stuff like Star Wars frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Big news today, or big reveal today.
I missed it. What happened?
You haven't seen the Book of Boba Fett trailer?
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
I've been cleaning the basement all day. Like what?
No, it's so exciting.
What's funny is that I hadn't seen it yet because I was preparing for this because I saw it pop up on our Discord channel, and I was like, but I saw it on my phone. I was like, I'm not watching this on my phone. I'm gonna go get on my screen and watch it. Yeah, and so, but I couldn't find the time to go do that, so I was like, I'll have to watch it afterwards. But
I can't find 2 minutes. We should pause for 2 minutes so you can watch it. I'll sit here and fill dead air, and then you can come back and be like,
if it wasn't live, I totally would.
So it's supposed to be like its own series?
Yeah.
Kind of like they did with Mandalorian or whatever?
Have you seen the second season of Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you at the very end they had the little stinger to preview Book of Boba Fett?
So now they've released
a trailer, like a 2-minute trailer for the season.
Do they say when it's coming on?
December 29th, I think.
Oh, wow.
It's right after Christmas, I think. 28th, 29th, something like that.
Close enough to make me giddy for it, but not close enough to make me happy about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting, but there's other things to look forward to ahead of it. So it'll probably come out, thinking timing wise, the week after the Hawkeye finale.
Oh, okay.
Hawkeye comes out on Thanksgiving. Or the day after. Oh wait, no, they do it on Wednesdays now. So I think Hawkeye comes out on the 25th.
Okay.
And it's only 6 episodes. So the last episode is probably the Wednesday before the Boba Fett starts.
Gotcha. Yeah,
I'm very nerdy about this stuff.
Yeah. I saw the trailer for Hawkeye and I was like, eh.
Oh, it's so good. Really? I think it looks awesome. I get total Die Hard vibes, and I'm excited for an MCU Die Hard story.
Are you a Die Hard fan, Katia?
I am, but I don't know. This that's the one with his daughter, right? If that's the thing I saw.
The Hawkeye?
Yeah.
It's not his daughter. It's
someone,
the new Hawkeye. I forget what her name is.
Okay. I assumed it was his daughter in the trailer. Okay.
No, I don't think it is. The character who's the female lead.
Right.
I can't remember the character's name now. She's another Hawkeye in the comics. Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop is the character's name.
Okay. All right then.
It's she follows what he does when he's Ronin, right? And then kind of copies that.
I think so. I don't know. She's much more of a modern era character. So she showed up after I stopped really reading comics. I sort of followed some of the stuff. But I know it's also based on one of the more recent, from maybe 5 or 6 years ago, Hawkeye series. I know Matt Fraction was responsible for it, and people like his work a lot. So it has that. It's sort of inspired by his run on a Hawkeye series from a couple of years ago, but then turned into the MCU version.
Yeah, the whole Christmas thing made me just love it even more because of the Die Hard feel for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it's Die Hard. Some people said it'll be Home Alone, kind of.
Yeah. I'll have to watch it anyways, but yeah, I still haven't seen what's her face?
WandaVision? Have you?
No, I did watch that finally.
You finished it? Okay.
I did. No, what's the one? The Russian spy girl.
Black
Widow.
Pardon? Black Widow. Yes. So her standalone movie.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's on Disney Plus now, just like regular streaming.
Yeah, and I think now that there's like a whole series also.
No series.
Oh, unless
Well, and yeah, I mean, you watched all of the What Ifs, right?
I'm almost caught up. I think we're behind one episode or two.
Well, okay. I
So
don't
it's
want to say
all
anything.
tied? It's all tied up. Okay, so here's the thing too, is when I was watching the What Ifs, I thought they were all independent from one another. And then all of a sudden it's like it all comes together. So I did not know that.
I don't think anybody really did. I didn't expect they were gonna all kind of come together in the end until that's the way it played out. But I thought it was really cool. And they just put up I forget what they call the series, like the making ofs of the various
Legends or something like that, or
I think it's like Marvel Assembled or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like the behind the scenes making ofs for they've done it for all the Disney Plus shows and the movies and stuff. They just did
one's really good.
Yeah, I just watched it. It was really cool. And they talk about like the inspiration and the creative force behind it and where they're going because there's going to be a second season. So like, you want to talk about? We can put up the spoilers thing a little bit too. Nah, never mind. You haven't watched it yet. So
don't spoil it for Katia. Yeah.
I still haven't finished Agent Carter, which I'm in the season 2. I just have to finish it.
I was so sad when they canceled that.
Yeah.
I was actually enjoying it more than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at the time because they were both running together.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was like, it had like a really good peak and then...
The last season is good.
It is, yeah. Yep, last season's really good, yeah.
I think I skipped, the last season was 7? I think I skipped 5 and 6 because I was like, this is not great anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they announced the final season, I was like, all right, let me take a look. And I watched 1 or 2, and I'm like, this seems pretty good. I'm back in. I'll finish it out. And I thought it was a pretty satisfying ending. It was a good last season.
I started rewatching it again recently, and I watched it all the way through as it was like coming out, right? So that's a long time. And so whenever I started rewatching it, I was amazed by how good the first season was. And then now I'm like in mid second season. I'm like, man, this is still really good. Actually, I'm almost done with second season. And now I know where they're about to go in the third season. I'm like, this is where it's about to go down, where they get into the Inhuman stuff.
Yeah, when her dad comes in the picture and you find out her real name is Daisy, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's where it starts to dip for me.
When they do the whole Inhuman thing. I like the spy thing that is season 1 and 2, the whole Hydra, this S.H.I.E.L.D. It's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., not let's talk about Inhumans for a whole season kind of thing, right? So
yeah.
And
but
Eternals comes out on Friday.
Which one?
Eternals comes out on Friday.
Oh, yes. Wow, yeah.
So Eternals, I just read something today. They have, so I was excited about this because they have the first deaf actress who's going to be part of the MCU universe. She's going to be playing, I think it's Makari. It's like a character that can like, she's got like super speed and it allows her to basically like run on water and create cyclones and stuff like that. And they hired an actress who's deaf. So I'm curious to see how they're going to integrate that.
Is her character deaf?
No, like I think she is. The actress is.
Right, but I was just asking if the character was too.
They're probably going to have to make it that the character is deaf. Yes, I would assume.
You said her name is it
I think
Makari?
It's Makari or Makiri?
Lauren Riddoff. I'm trying to look it up here.
I don't know. I know very little about like Eternals as characters as a storyline. So,
but when I saw that, I was like, "Ooh!" And then so it's a new, it's going to be a new series. Is
that her?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I don't know that much about the Eternals as well, and I kind of want to keep it that way for this show. I didn't want to dig into it too much. So. In fact, I didn't want to even watch the trailer, but I got tricked into it by YouTube because I clicked on something similar. I forget what it was, something about foundation maybe, or and it started playing the ad, and I didn't see the little thing down at the bottom that it was an ad, so I just started watching it, and it took me a couple of scenes to go like, oh no, this is Eternals, isn't it? And then by then I already got too much of it, so I stayed and watched the whole thing. But they tricked me into watching that trailer. YouTube did.
Well, like you could not watch the Boba Fett trailer and just go into it.
That's
excited,
true.
Not knowing anything.
I mean, I've said before, you don't have to have any trailers for any of this stuff. I'm going to be watching it. You could just say Star Wars, the Leia story, a black background title. That's all I need up there. Day one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make the IMDb page blank, and I'll be there. Doesn't matter. And they could start it off with puppets, and I'd be upset, but I wouldn't know, right?
Yeah,
that would be a great prank.
Do these things really need all that additional awareness? Like, we're gonna go see them.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Right. So to be fair, like I haven't watched any of the Spider-Man trailers because because I want to be surprised about that. I haven't seen anything for it.
So are there new ones coming out? Are there new ones coming out?
New Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, in December. What's it called? No Way Home?
It's something home. They all say something like home right
No Way
now.
Home.
No Way Home. Yeah.
He really doesn't go very far.
Well, he did in Infinity War, right?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I know very, very high level things like Doctor Strange is in it.
Right.
And that it's supposed to factor in the multiverse somehow, but that's like all I really know.
I just watched that. The Spider-Man into the multiverse.
The trailer?
No,
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse.
The animated
whatever you call
movie.
it, the one with all the different Spider-Man. That was so
wasn't
cool.
that amazing?
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love the humor in it too. Oh, that was so well done.
I was blown away by how good that was. And it wasn't even MCU, right? That was Sony, I think.
That was really good. Yeah.
And they're making another one.
Are they?
Oh, I hope so.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's a Spider-Verse sequel. I don't remember when it's coming out, but
so many good TV shows. That's exciting.
Yeah, I generally will watch the teaser trailer that they put out, like the 1 minute one or the 30-second one or something that doesn't show too much.
Yeah.
But now even those are, because I saw the Spider-Man teaser trailer and I was like, wow, that's a lot of information. So it's not too much, but for me, who is so averse to spoilers, it was a lot.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking you that question about spoilers for board games, because I would love working on the board games, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want this spoiled, but I got to read this to do the game.
I'll pick and choose my moments. I was like, all right, I'm not going to look at anything for Spider-Man No Way Home. I did it for all of the Star Wars movies. Well, 7, 8, 9. Like, I didn't watch any trailers or anything. I was like, all right, I want to go into this experience, and really take it in. So every once in a while, I'll do something like that. And then more often than not, I'm just like, I'll watch this thing, whatever. I get excited about it. Sometimes you're like, I need a little pep. I need a little something to boost me up. This little 2-minute thing will get me jazzed.
Yeah. I will often, I think it was the last Star Wars where I said, I'm not going to watch any trailer. And I went months, 2 months, around the third month of it being out. I was like, okay, maybe just a little bit of the trailer. I couldn't stop myself.
Yeah. I don't watch that many trailers anymore. I find that I'll find out, all of a sudden it's on Netflix, or all of a sudden it's on Disney Channel. And it's like, oh, I hadn't heard about it. All right, well, I guess we'll watch it. I don't know.
YouTube knows what I want. YouTube throws it on that front page. A new trailer.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of trailers, even for movies. Like there's you can click to see what the latest trailers of the last month are, and just watch, and they'll show you like 5 or 7 trailers, and sometimes I'll do that. Just I get interested by the art of the trailer themselves, even. Like if you ever go back trailers, like I'll try to convince Aaron to watch a movie that I think is great, and it'll be on Amazon Prime. I'll like, here, watch the trailer, and halfway through I stop it and go like, don't pay attention to that trailer. That was so bad. that's not what it's like. Yeah, they've gotten so good at trailers now. Those are almost their own little entertainment piece.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Well, this was really fun.
Yeah, we've gone our usual 2.5 hours. So I know where are you in Seattle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's not quite as late for you right now as it is.
It's 8:30, but we started at 6, and I was doing a thing from 5 to 6, so I haven't eaten dinner.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Oh, it's fine. I had a big lunch. I prepared for it. I was like, all right, I'll have a big lunch. I'll be fine.
Great. Well, it was great having you on. Love to
Yes.
have you again whenever Mike can be on here. I'm sure he would love to spend time with you on here. So let's go ahead and wrap up. Anything you have coming up that you want to tell anybody about, or
no?
Right.
It's funny now. It's easy. I mean, go buy Pokemon cards. It's great. Everybody knows Pokemon's hot.
Yeah.
But I can't really, talk about things upcoming there.
Right.
And honestly, Pokemon is, it's just all the rage right now. So they're into Pokemon. We're in the midst of celebrating the 25th anniversary. So there's a lot of 25th anniversary celebration product out right now. Yeah.
That doesn't make us feel very young.
I know, 25
Holy
years.
crap.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I'm not
I
going to go
remember when
into
it came
how.
out.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into the feeling old story. No, okay. We'll go out with a happy feeling.
So,
all right.
That's what I got. And I know that you guys have HughesCon coming up this weekend, right?
Yeah, it starts actually in a couple days on Thursday morning.
Exciting.
Yeah, I went today, got my COVID test to fly out, so I'm leaving on Wednesday morning, and I'm landing there in the 5:30-ish time. So yeah, it'll be fun.
That's awesome.
Do you have a convention? Would you know what convention you're going to next, Andrew? Do you enjoy going to conventions? Yeah,
I do. I mean, it's been interesting over the course of the last year and a half not doing stuff, and in some ways I miss it. In some ways I don't miss all of the runaround, and it's been good to kind of take a step back. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be invited to the gathering of friends, and that's where Katia and I met, and so I did that. But other than that, I don't have anything on my schedule for any time soon. Maybe PAX Unplugged, but it's not planned.
I think you should.
But I will be in Toronto at the end of the month. So I'll send you the dates, and if you want to come in for a day or something.
Yeah.
I don't have anything planned right now. I'm going to be staying with our friend Erica.
Okay. There you go.
And I've talked to a couple other people about things, but I just want to visit friends and hang out, and
cool.
Yeah. So that'll be hopefully a couple days of fun gaming. But other than that, I don't know. We'll see what next year looks like.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again for coming. Thanks everybody for watching. And we typically go to Discord and hang out in case anybody wants to talk and stuff. But Andrew, if you got to go run, get something to eat, totally understand. But I saw that you joined our Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Stop by, talk anytime you want. And the link for our Discord is in the description. So thanks everybody.
Thanks for coming.
Yep.
Thanks for having me. It's really fun. We do that.